Welcome to the January market update. Mr. Murray, I mean, this is probably one of the most important market updates of the year because January is it got busier from the start or not? And people are wanting to know, right? Have we started good?
Excellent. I thought we've gone live with nearly 50 listings in the first 3 weeks of January. I believe that's 2 years in a row now, Diego. We're a lot of activity from, I guess, the back end with launching properties, but we've done nearly close to 30 written deals. So optimistically, yes, it has been a great start to January, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, level of activity is there. If you're looking at over the Christmas period, we track always numbers as we do. Last year, this year compared to the previous year, we're 35% more inquiries, so 35% more buyers out there. More or less, obviously, it's not an exact science when you're looking at many listings and all of that, but it's considerable amount more of inquiries. There is a lot of optimism, but for me, sometimes you just got to balance it out. And I am looking at January, hopefully not just being the start of the calendar year, but as well being the start of the upcycle. Upcycle. Now, with that, let's talk about the upcycle, because I got a theory, and we discussed it before, and I think it's important that we put it out there as well, because my theory is this. Markets in Auckland, in terms of prices, they've dropped somewhere between 20 to 30%. So let's say,
average.
Yeah, on average, right? Now, upcycle normally lasts somewhere between 2 and 3 years. Okay.
Great.
I would say that this upcycle is not going to be one of the craziest one in terms of prices going up. So let's say 5 to 10% every year increases. Probably not 10%, not this year anyway. So saying in 3 years down the line, we've gone up, say 30%.
So gone down 30, 3 years up, come 30.
And then guess what happened in 3 years down the line? It's going to be another down cycle. So when people say, oh, property prices double every 10 years, not this 10 years. Unless something crazy is going to happen in the market, I think this 10 years might see very much a flat, some increases, but not double. What's your thoughts?
Well, if I'm hearing those stats, that conversation correctly, it's like, why would I hang on and hang on and hang on? Look, if I'd owned the property 5 to 10 years already, there's already a well-built-in capital gains there already. And if you get back closer to 30, if you're hanging on, I'm like, yeah. What's life all about? Maybe make some gains and move on to something else. And no, it's sort of this thought that you say every 10 years, you sort of bank on it like the sun rising in the east and setting in the west, but that's not the case these days, is it? So
no, because now we're looking at 3 years already of down cycle. Hey, it could be in 10 years we could look at 10% more, but it's definitely not double. Hey, what do we know? We're just simple real estate professionals, aren't we? All we know is that today, we've come back in a stronger market, more activities, more property selling, pre-auction offers. Now, again, let me finish with this. Last year, we were having similar conversation, and then quieting down in February. I don't think this year will be the same. It's going to be the start.
You've touched on an interesting subject there, stock levels. Last year, we had an oversupply. We got an early, sort of January, February was good. The ones that launched early in January saw the most heat from the market. Then we seem to see an oversupply. What do you think is different about this year?
Interest rates, supply and demand. So the supply has been eaten by the demand. The interest rates are cheap enough that there is 30% more buyers in the market same time last year. Again, more or less. Meaning that, yes, there will be an oversupply as they always happen post-Waitangi in Auckland anyway. It's always the same. But I think there is enough demand that should eat it out quite quickly. And I think this year should be 5%. In terms of prices, I reckon we should get to 5% plus.
Yeah. One important thing I've noticed in the last couple of weeks is the volume of auctions we have for sort of traditional first home buyer value band. There's been a lot more activity in that auction sector. And so does that tell us that the banks are getting their ducks in a row and allowing first home buyers back at auctions? I hope so. Would you agree?
Look, out of 5 auctions we're running now, 2 of them are under contract conditionally. So there is activity prior and buyers coming in with good conditions. Yes, the banks can be slow as well, but if you've got a good broker, normally you can get it faster.
Good idea. Good agents, good brokers. Look, I'm starting to get more excited. I think over the coming months, these updates are going to turn from doom and gloom to a little bit more rosier and cheery. So
not going to get to 2021 levels, but I'll tell you what, anything better than the last 3 years for people buying and selling. Because here's the thing, right? You say, but when the prices go up, buyers are struggling. But keep this in mind, Mr. Murray. When the prices go down like the last 3 years have, there is a lot of people in pain and suffering that can't afford it for whatever reason. So we've seen a lot of that pain and suffering. I've always seen people crying for not the best reasons, right? Because it's been a tough market. So don't you rather be at a good market where people actually are smiling? Yes, there will be some people struggling to buy, but unless you don't get the people crying because they can't afford the high interest rate or whatever situation it is, right? So I think good times to come.
Yeah, best time to buy a property was yesterday.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next month.
Thanks, guys.